and that's for November.
Yes, best. Oh well.
Oh my god.
It happens, bro. You can't make an omelet without breaking a couple eggs.
Can't make a podcast without breaking a couple Funkos. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Too Much to Say. Was that too loud?
That was perfect, dude.
Should I talk that loud the entire time?
Yeah, that's.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Too Much to Say. This is going to be
usually by like the end of the podcast, you're like,
because I feel like I feel like I talk too loud, and then I think you talk loud, and I don't.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter.
Oh, I'm so glad I sound like Gord. Gord doesn't talk though. So
Gord does not talk. I don't know where you're pulling that from.
Gord is awesome. Have you watched? Oh, that doesn't hit. I don't think Ralph Burke's Internet hits. It's on Netflix.
It's
right,
on Netflix. I've actually watched it. I think 2 or 3 times.
Sometimes I Google just the Gord
superior
scenes.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Really?
Yeah, in my opinion, I think it's the superior Wreck-It Ralph to the first one.
I think it's so different from the first one. I can't even compare them. It's got Gal Gadot.
It's like children, you know.
Gal got it. The second one's more superior, like Andrew.
No, it's just like you can't choose. You know, you can't choose like your best kid, can you?
My mom does. Can't wait to show her this part.
Oh God! All right,
I'm for real gonna show her this part.
Talk about some stuff, huh?
All right, so something real quick I want to talk about. One, we went to Panda Express, show him the cup before we came, or we went there. Poor Duncan, I asked him like 4 different places because I was just hungry and I wanted to go somewhere to eat. I was getting a little hangry, and I kept changing up where we were gonna go. Then I texted him at one point, "I'll meet you there so we can get to start podcasting faster." He didn't see that. So I'm at Panda Express, but before then, 2 minutes before, I text him and I say,
I thought you were coming over here.
I text Duncan, I said, I'm 2 minutes away or something, or 2 minutes out. I'll be there in 2 minutes, whatever. And so I'm at Panda, I order and I sit down and stuff, and then Duncan sends me a text and he's like, wait, am I supposed to meet you there? And I was like, yeah. Luckily, Duncan lives like
because it had been 2 minutes
close.
And I was like, he's still not here. I wonder if he's coming here.
Yeah. Luckily, you realized that because I would have just started. I would have been done eating. I was like, oh, he's probably still in the shower or something. Okay, so one big thing I wanted to go over real quick, because this is almost like a mini topic. I kind of find we have little like anecdotes or something.
The last one we talked about the spaghetti bandit at my work.
Spaghetti bandit. We've talked about eating dinner with a baby, which we've since found out.
Family
friend, Darby. I really hope it's okay. I say your name. I don't know if you're going to watch all these or
you know a
just
person named Darby?
Her name's Darby, yeah.
Wow.
Very cool. Very cool. Darby and Cam. They're boyfriend and girlfriend.
Oh, they're boyfriends and girlfriends.
Boyfriends and girlfriends. And her friend she was watching the show. Her friend actually is the person who had the baby.
Right. You said that you found the culprit.
Found the culprit.
And that's such, it's
insane.
For we live in a decent sized metropolitan area, and it's funny that you were able to track down the person who
we didn't even track down. It was totally by chance that someone just happened to know enough about that other person's life to be like, were you at Los Dos that night? And she said yes.
It's so funny because
I low-key want to get her in here for an interview with the fake baby.
It reminds me of I think I told you this. It reminds me of the time this was 4 or 5 years ago when I was living with Garrett and Kendall, 2 buddies of ours. We were all sharing a place, and
Kenny's #1 fan.
Yeah, he is for sure.
I'm his #1 fan.
And I remember one day pulling off of Germantown Parkway, and I was behind a truck that had a University of Tennessee sticker on it and also a Denver Broncos sticker on the back of it.
Oh, we talked about the story.
We did talk about the story.
Was this with them last weekend when
we were all
together?
hanging out? Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say I remember you talking about it.
And I remember this was when this was when for those who don't know the NFL, this is when the Broncos were killing it. And I think that year they went to the Super Bowl, and I think they won that year. I think that was Peyton's last year. Mm-hmm. I took I don't know why I thought this would be funny, but I took a picture of it and posted it on Instagram, and I was like, hey, how long have you had that Broncos sticker on the back of your car, buddy? Or something like that. And basically calling the guy out for being a Fairweather fan. And I'm like, I bet you have not been a Denver Bronco fan for that long. Uh-huh. And the freaking, somebody that the guy knows knew me, or it was friends with me on Instagram, and said, hey, at so-and-so, isn't this your truck? And tagged them in my photo. And the guy then direct messaged me and wanted to fight me. And luckily I played it cool and I cooled down the situation. But for a brief period of time, there was a guy on Instagram who wanted to fight me. And
oh, dude. You want to hear my guy trying to fight me story?
I guess so.
It's over a girl.
Well, those are the best.
It may be interesting. So I'm going to try and get through this quick because it's still going to the regular anecdote I wanted to talk about.
All right.
A guy, we go out when I'm move to Springfield to help open up a nukes there. All of us managers go out one night, kind of like our regional and our someone else. I guess I don't want to like say too many names. It's not a bad thing, but they come into town, so we all go out. What? I feel like you're trying to say something. Or
I got something on my sleeve.
Okay, I thought something was up.
It's a piece of rice.
So we all go out to this bar one night, kind of like a team building thing, kind of in a sense. But like, okay, guys, you guys have been like the restaurant's not doing as well as we thought it would. Why don't we all go out and like have a like chill night? Like everyone gets to know each other better.
Restaurant's not doing that well. Let's all go out and get drunk.
Let's drink our sorrows away. But it's just like it was a stressful time, and it was like, all right, you guys still work with each other all day, but you don't necessarily get to like hang out. So like, but you got to be with each other 12 hours a day. So we go to this bar, really great little place, and Skybox it's called. I don't think it's like a franchise of the Skybox in Collierville, but it's called Skybox. So we're there, and there's some like hot girls and stuff, and the one girl wants some cigarettes, which now is kind of gross to be honest if you smoke cigarettes. But
we just lost so many listeners.
No, I'm just saying I think a lot less people smoke cigarettes now than they did 5 years ago. But so she goes and wants cigarettes, and I was the only single guy there. Go figure. Everyone else was actually married, so not even like relationships. Married. So the our regional guy Nick goes, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go buy her, or someone else ended up going to buy the cigarettes, and what he did was he wrote my number on the bottom part of the lid of the cigarette box because we were all kind of toasty. She was obviously drunk. That's
kind of romantic.
And he was like, he's like, that way when she's like sober or something tomorrow, she'll open it up and she'll see it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. So I kind of didn't even think twice about it. Like 2 days later, I start getting all these calls and texts from this number, and I'm like, what? And I saw it was a Springfield number. So I'm like, I don't really recognize that. It's probably not an employee. I don't know why they'd be calling me or how they would have my personal number. Turns out it was the girl's boyfriend who was trying to fight me, and he wanted me to meet him at the Sonic in Springfield, and I was like, okay, I'll see you there, and then I just never showed up. So I was like, why would I come fight you? Like, that doesn't make sense.
You want me to kick your neck off?
Yeah. Meet me at the Sonic.
I'm going to pop your eyeballs out.
I think she worked at Sonic or something, but he wanted to meet there and fight, and I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Like, and then I just kept watching Friends.
How old were you at that point? Do you remember?
I had just turned 21.
Oh, wow. So it was pretty young.
Pretty young, yeah. Don't say that.
Dude,
I mean, it was last month.
It's so funny. That just seems like such a high school way to handle stuff. It's like, hey, let's meet. I'm going to beat your ass.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's such
very rednecky to me.
That's like, that's how the majority of things were discussed in my high school. Was just, hey, let's meet across the street at the gas station and we'll just fight about it.
Meet around the flagpole type thing. Meet in the playground.
Exactly.
Anyways. All right, so quick anecdote before we get into the topic.
Was it about Panda?
It wasn't about Panda, actually. What's up with speed bumps? We passed a bunch of speed bumps by the hospital. Dude, you ever think about that? What does it actually do?
That is so funny that you mentioned that because, so...
I purposely didn't bring it up until just now because I wanted a genuine reaction.
It's so funny because I drive an SUV. You drive a like a sedan. Your car is not as high off the ground as mine is.
No. I drive it. I'm like,
I told you we were leaving Panda Express, and I said, "Hey, just follow me." I had
no idea we could get to your house that way.
Oh, really? See, I figured you probably did.
Awesome.
It's a nice little cut through right there.
Yeah.
Behind the Target. But I failed.
What specific address? No.
It's so. I told you, just follow me, and we'll go this kind of back way. And there's some pretty extreme speed, dude. They're not even. I think they're technically called speed humps, is what they're called.
Oh, by the way, Darby is Dylan's sister. I know that's weird that I just brought that up, but that's how
Dylon.
It's connected. Dylon, yes.
Yeah.
Darby is Dylan's sister.
Okay. There you go.
Small world, man. It gets smaller.
Dude, I went over that first speed bump, and dude, I go through there 4 times a week. Like, it's not that, like, I cut through there all the time.
The back way into your condo.
Yeah. Okay. And I glanced back and I saw your car go like, good junk.
I don't slow down for speed bumps because I don't think they'll do anything.
I swore, I thought to myself that you just messed up your car.
I don't think they'll actually do anything. That's my thing.
And I felt bad.
I want to test how fast I can go over a speed bump.
I felt bad because I was like, oh, I took him this way. It's my fault. I'm the one who took him through this.
No, I don't think they really do anything, bro.
Dude, if you had, I bet you if your car was lower, you would have messed them.
Yes, if my car was lower, but I don't think...
I'm glad to know you didn't mess anything up in your car.
No, I assume not. I don't know. If it doesn't start when I go to leave, then yeah. My biggest thing is the speed bumps right back here by the condo. not really real speed bumps. They're like maybe.
Yeah. Well, they're your typical speed bump.
The hospital speed bumps, those are the ones where there's a sign every 10 feet and there's a speed bump every like 10 feet.
Yeah.
Speed bump ahead, even though it's next to it. And that one's like a big old like Snorlax bump is what I want to call it.
Snorlax. Dude, yeah, those speed bumps back there are pretty extreme. And I think what it is I don't know if they've always were there because, I used to work at that Best Buy right there too. And I don't remember cutting through there all the time, but that's where I found out about that cut through was back when I
wonder how they actually like do the speed bumps too.
I don't know, but I wondered if they were always there because I guarantee if they weren't there, dude, people would do 90 back there behind the Target.
I could see that.
Back there,
one day I want to go
that parking garage, dude. People would fly through there.
Next time I come to your house, I'm gonna go the back way through the condo, and I'm gonna go like 30 over these little speed bumps because I don't think it's gonna make any difference. And then the next time maybe like 40 if I can gun it. Like I don't know.
Freaking axle
I just don't think they
off.
actually do anything. Why do I have to slow down? What's the point?
I mean, dude, I guess I would be afraid that you would do some damage to like your bumper.
My thing, I guess, is I feel responsible enough to know it's a small enclosed area next to like a parking garage or parking spaces, so I don't need to go 50. But I guess a lot of people are dumb and would go 50.
Anyways, that was our speed bump excursion.
Honestly, it's kind of like it's a metaphorical speed bump to the episode too.
There you go.
Slowing down a little bit, talking about something else before we hit the open road.
We're all about metaphors on this show.
I love metaphors.
We're very well read. Not me. I don't read.
Did you ever read Disney War?
I'm working on it, dude.
Like 2 days ago. I haven't texted anyone in the group chat.
I've thought about it a
no
lot. Let's just say this. I've thought about it a lot.
I'm about to text, has anyone actually finished Disney War?
You're going to text that during the podcast?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
We're still talking.
No wonder we only got 3 listeners on Spotify.
I just put it up there this week.
A little behind the scenes.
How far are you in a Disney War?
I told you, dude. I thought about it a lot.
So you haven't started it?
I mean, it's been in my brain quite a bit.
Okay, that sucks. All right, let's talk about toys because you're... All right.
Because I'm...
How deep are we into this episode already?
We are about
12,
13 minutes. 12, 13 minutes. So... What I wanted to say before we jump into the topic at hand is
This is your last episode.
This is my last episode. This is my last will and testament. No, what I wanted to say is that, like we were talking about at Panda before we came here. What I wanted to say is,
what did you want to say?
Yeah, it's taken me a minute to get there. I feel like toys, especially when you think about children of the 90s and even in children of the 80s, I feel like toys mean something differently to... Okay, so if you were born between like 1980 and 1999 or 2000, and I only say that because my sister was born in 2000 and whatever. I feel like toys meant a certain thing to you. I feel like toys were special to children of that era. I mean, like my parents had toys.
Dude.
Okay, go ahead and interrupt me.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I always interrupt you, and I'm sorry.
No, just you messed up my train of thought. Go ahead.
It's okay. To be honest, it was kind of an awkward train anyway.
Okay, whatever.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Toys are your sister.
I was just going to say that toys don't mean... I feel like toys do not mean as much to people who were born previous to like the 80s. So like my folks' age, who obviously had toys. Not that special to them. But what I'm saying... My question... Or what I was going to say to you is I feel like toys are still important to people... Most people of our generation, I guess, is what you would say. And my example for that is... people our age that might not go to, Walmart or Target and buy toys every weekend. Maybe they do. I don't know. But I know a lot of people our age who, and I forgot, dude, the freaking background disappeared. I need to set that up to where it just always stays all the time.
Well, you just need to turn your screensaver off on your Mac.
Anyways. Another interruption. There we go. The high-end hot toys, like those really expensive collectible toys, I feel like it's people our age who are keeping those businesses afloat because
1,000,000% kids don't get those.
Because it's not necessarily for younger people. It's not for older people. It's for people of our age who toys really meant something to them when they were kids, and now being an adult, you still have that itch to collect stuff. I feel like collecting stuff is like it's important to people our age, and it just so happens that's those like high dollar hot toys and all that like really expensive collectible stuff.
It was a gateway drug.
It is kind of.
I would like to just verify something here first. I just searched most popular 90s toys. There's so many toys I personally didn't play with as a kid.
Right.
But were popular in the 90s. We're focused more this episode on toys from our childhood that we enjoyed playing with, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Obviously, I know it'll bleed over a little bit, but I'm like, at some point, we'll probably talk about like nostalgia for the 90s or whatever.
Right.
There's certain things here. I'm like, I never had this, but I remember it being like a Tickle Me Elmo I was too old for.
We come from that generation where, toys were freaking big business, man.
Is that the one?
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. You don't recognize that at all?
No.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay. Is that James Bond in the background? James Bond.
I don't
Jr.?
recognize those. We'll talk about it later.
Okay. Was that a cartoon? I guess?
Okay. That's what I was gonna say. Is dude, total. If you watch, there's a very good documentary series on Netflix called "The Toys That Made Us."
Still gotta watch it, even though I tell you every time I'm here. Every time I'm over here, you bring it up, and I'm always like, I'm gonna watch it.
It's great, man, and it's super rewatchable.
Have you watched McMillions this week?
Yes, I watched McMillions.
God, such a good show.
It's a great show. There's an episode about like Power Rangers. There's an episode about Star Wars figures, which Star Wars and Star Trek figures I think is a little bit before our time. But like Power Rangers, Turtles, that kind of stuff is there were entire brands, these multi-million-dollar brands that were built around toys.
Transformers is Transformers and G.I. Joe would be the most famous ones, correct?
Yeah. Those were also included.
G.I. Joe was obviously first, I'm sure. But
but the way that those things worked is, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was not built upon a toy line at first. It was a comic first. Mm-hmm. But there are so many. Just looking at like 15 toy lines from the 90s you totally forgot about is this particular article that I had.
We're going to start with this, you think, now?
No, we can talk about it. But what I was going to say is, dude, you look through these lines of toys, and He-Man. He-Man was a little bit before our time, but He-Man was started with the toys, and then it branched off into like a comic book, and then it became a cartoon and all that kind of. Ninja Turtles is somewhat similar, but dude, it's. And that's sort of what I'm saying is toys, I feel like, aren't as important to kids. If you were born after the year 2000, toys really just aren't that, they weren't that big of a part of your childhood.
Because it's digital now.
That's what I was going to say is I brought up the example. Oh, Eric's tired.
I'm not tired. I yawn all the time.
I brought up the example to...
I haven't yawned in a while on the show, though.
Yeah, you've been good.
It's not bad when I yawn.
I remember my parents going to Black Friday shopping back before I even knew what Black Friday was. Dude, when we were kids, Black Friday shopping was about toys. It wasn't about TVs. It wasn't about iPads. It wasn't about...
getting Duncan some toys.
Exactly. It was about getting freaking, Beanie Babies or Cabbage Patch Kids.
Who was your first Beanie Baby?
Man, I wish I can't remember. We had quite a collection when I was a kid.
Too.
And
remember the Princess Di Beanie Baby?
I do remember that. Dude, people thought that was going to be... My dad is a collector.
Uh-huh.
I said before...
When is he going to come on Too Much to Say to talk about collecting?
Dude, Gene would be a good get.
I would love to have Gene right here.
We could get Gene on someday.
Gene? Does Gene watch? Probably not.
No, I don't think he does.
Gene?
Mom does.
Mrs. Butler?
That's my last name, yeah.
Please tell Gene to come on. You can come on too.
Just replace me with Gene.
Yeah, actually.
I'll interview your parents and you can interview my parents.
Actually, we should do that about our childhood. Dude, that's a really good idea. That would be, my mom, and you would just giggle the whole time.
Dude, I love your mom.
You love my mom. All right.
Go away.
All right, so we're going to have, why don't we interview each other's moms for an episode? You think your mom would do it?
When's Mother's Day?
It's coming up in May, I think. It's May and June. May is Mother's Day. June is Father's Day.
That's a great idea. We'll do it for Father's Day.
I'm adding it to the list. Wow. I know you don't like me being on my phone when I'm right here, but
it's all good. But no,
moms interview each other.
I think when it comes to the hot thing, it's just not what you do. You go to that's part of the reason why Toys R Us died. Even though I think Toys R Us might be coming back. I don't know. Toys
in little shops. It was basically as a giant corporate thing. It's all a hoax just to go ahead and let them to lay off a bunch of people, because obviously the toy market has changed, but to lay off a bunch of people, and so the rich owners of it get to keep all their money. And I don't know,
dude. And I'm gonna forget.
I know it sounds negative.
I'm gonna forget.
Toys R Us was awesome though as a kid to go to.
Dude, I love Toys.
Remember Sears? You would go to buy video games, even Toys R Us, and you would buy, or you wouldn't buy, but you would grab a ticket like in the video game area, and then they'd have like a cage where they actually kept the games up front, and you would like give them the ticket.
We did that at Best Buy.
Oh, you guys still do that?
Yeah,
somewhat. Yeah,
okay. They still do that.
Because at Best Buy, what game was I trying to get? It was a game or a movie like a
Tony
year
Hawk
ago.
Pro Skater 4?
No, it was a game or a movie like a year ago. I was trying to get physically for some reason.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 6.
I may have been getting it for. Oh, I was getting The Last of Us remastered as a Secret Santa gift for someone.
Oh,
and
good game.
The Best Buy website said, of course, they had like 4 copies or something.
Yeah.
And then I was there and like, we don't have it. And I walked up front to the cage and I'm like, it's right here. Like, it's right here.
That was a cruddy employee that you talked to.
Dude, it was like 2 or 3. Sorry, so we're getting off track here.
Yeah, we got off track for a moment. But that's basically was my point, is the fact that toys are an important niche for children of the 80s and 90s, and less so for kids now that are younger, and for our, like our parents' generation older than us. It just didn't stick around for them. Whereas I feel like, that's the reason why documentary series like The Toys That Made Us even exist, is because it still means something to people our age.
Adults, yeah, like 20s and 30-year-olds, like even 40-years really now, like love nostalgia. But even though it's kind of shoved in our face though. Because there's so much stuff. This is how I think about it. And I guess then we need to really start getting into toys we liked as a kid. But now there's so much, and even back then there was a lot of stuff when we were growing up, as far as just like different like Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, just a bunch of different like lines of stuff and universes and everything. But now there's just so much stuff. It's like overstimulation. You only get like 5 minutes to actually enjoy and love something, and only like 10 things have like Legos have just kind of grown,
right?
Like DC and Marvel have grown.
That was the thing for me, man. As much as I love Lego now, I wasn't a huge Lego fan as a kid. I had a few sets, but Lego was something for me that didn't come up way until my 20s.
My mom actually told me a couple weeks ago, because I mentioned to her, I was like, yeah, why weren't we allowed to play with Legos as a kid? She's like, you had a couple Lego sets. And I don't remember those at all.
I remember I had a set from Phantom Menace. I had the yellow Naboo fighter. I didn't know it sounded like you said Shaba. Duel of the Fates.
You ever just listen to it?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Have you ever seen the video where they do the subtitles to what they're actually saying underneath it?
Is it real though? Or
but
is
no,
it fake?
it's super fake, and it's like,
no, I wouldn't like that.
Yeah, it's funny though. You should check it out.
I don't like this angle on my chin.
The last thing.
Can you post me in a beard?
Yeah, I'll post you in a full beard right now. The only thing that the only thing I was going to mention before we moved on was I'm going to have to put this in later because I'm not going to be able to remember the name of it right now. But I came across this toy line. I saw it on
I just pictured you're going to do an edit in where it's just you sitting at the table and you're going to be like, all right, guys, so this is what I was trying to say. Now back to the show.
It was just, dude, it was this ad I saw for these couple of toys. And I don't know how it came up on my feed because I don't look at toy stuff. But whatever. It was this guy who had like kickstarted his own toy line. I don't know what
started. Kickstarted.
He kickstarted.
I have never heard kickstarted. Okay. Man, we had to go and kickstarted the car.
He was like, you know what? I'm a child of the 90s. I want to build a toy line similar to what I was into as a kid. And he built these really cool, really nice toys. And I'm not going to be able to remember the name of them now, but they were very cool. Like, dude, they all had like these cool little, like, you could make one like do a backflip and stuff. And they were such 90s ilk in the fact that like they were like human animal hybrids. It was like
they were like Animorphs or something.
Yeah, they were. Well, that was like such a big thing when we were kids. Was like an animal, but it could like pose like a human. It was like an anthropomorphic animal. And there was like
I love that word.
There was like a tree frog.
So weird.
There was like a tree frog guy that could do the backflip, and then there was like a stingray guy that had like this cool like whippy stingray tail.
We're talking about the Kickstarter guy.
Yeah, it was like Kickstarter or GoFundMe or something like that, and like he's like started to do like little animations for the characters and stuff. These are really cool toys, and the reason
how are
why
you even gonna find this? Is it called The Kingdom? I don't want my iPad to fall. Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. They look like giant Ewoks.
No, that's not them.
There's Legends of Cthulhu.
I don't know. I'll have to look it up. Okay. I'll have to look. Maybe I could try and find it right now.
Dude, these look cool. Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. Oh, I already said that. It looks like that's the most popular one. That's like a cool big gorilla thing.
Stingray guy action figure.
Stingray guy action figure.
Yeah,
Kickstarter?
He's like the leader.
Was it a Kickstarter? Like, was Stingray on Kickstarter?
No, I don't know. This is not going to work. Oh, no, here it is. Found it. Alternation. His name is L. Ray.
Okay.
Let's see if you can. Oh, it's
Alternation.
Alternation is what they're called.
Okay.
And there's like several different characters, and they've all got really cool
human-animal hybrid heroes.
Yeah, dude, that's such a '90s thing.
Yeah, honestly. Oh, these are cool. Yeah.
Dude, there's like a comic.
That looks like a Star Wars character.
It comes with a comic, and like there's.
Oh, dude, Sham, look at that. He's wearing like a suit with a gun.
Oh yeah, he's like that's a bad guy, I think.
I like him.
It's a chameleon in a suit. Chameleon guy.
And then there's Sabotage, which he just looks like a robot.
Dude, it's like such a throwback to '90s toys, and I love it.
I think we could make a universe like this.
Yeah.
Albert, and he looks like a bison or something, maybe, but like a monkey bottom.
Nation. Yeah, they're like weird.
There's like a big bat thing.
Weird hybrid things. I don't know, but I thought they were pretty cool. There's like this giant tree frog guy.
Quilroy. I want to see the tree frog. El Rey.
He's red. He's a red.
Here we go. Dart.
Yeah.
I don't like him as much.
I don't like that they made him bend over like that. He's bent over all the time.
Why does he? What's the small thing he has? Is he giant?
Dude, you know what it might be? And this is something that I learned about in the toys that made us is I wonder if they made him hunched over like that.
because of the box.
To be able to fit in the box like all the other characters. You know, that's the reason why going back to like the first wave of the Ninja
Sham looks really cool.
The Ninja Turtle toys. That's why Shredder and Bebop and Rocksteady
you told me that
are like hunched over like this.
Yeah.
In the box is because they had to fit in the same box that the Turtles did, and they were bigger figures, but they had to hunch them over to be able to fit inside the card. Or dude, let me tell you something. I was such a collector when I was a kid. I collected, the card.
I wish I could.
The card that came on the back of an action figure. I had a stack of them like
That's
this high.
Awesome. I wish I could have done that. I remember I saved up my allowance to go to KB Toys, and they had
KB Toys. I remember. KB Toys I think there still is a KB Toys.
There's like an outlet down at Tanger. KB Toys outlet.
I think there's still a toy store inside the Oakport Mall. I might be wrong. I haven't been there in a long time.
There was. I went there, and Lord of the Rings, like I think it was Two Towers or Return of the King came out, and I bought Gimli, someone else, Gollum. I loved Gollum for some reason. It was weird. I had a giant poster of Gollum in my room. Really weird.
I hated that character. I still am not crazy about that character.
My grandma did not like it.
Even though I love Andy Serkis.
And then Bilbo Baggins, but it was a young Bilbo that they put out. So this is before like The Hobbit was announced, but someone basically did like a young looking version of the guy that played the old Bilbo as a figure. And it was like this limited edition. And I remember that's the first time I remember being little and being like, I've got to buy this and keep it in the box because then it's going to be worth something one day. And then I ended up giving it to Goodwill like 2 years ago. So I kept it like most of my life.
We've done enough dancing around. Let's go ahead and jump into the topic at hand. And Eric, I'm going to ask you, if you had to, what was your favorite toy as a child?
Like overall?
Yeah. Like if you had to,
here's one that I think about a lot. I'm going to show you a picture. And I guess you're going to add these in post.
Yeah,
I think I texted them all to you already. One of my favorite, and this is still in the thing, I've actually seen this on eBay. And this goes into a whole video games we played as a kid, which I think will be a separate topic at some point.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say Earthworm Jim. Love Earthworm Jim, man.
Earthworm Jim.
So it turns out the creator of Earthworm Jim lives in Franklin, Tennessee. He's like our family friend who does VeggieTales and stuff. He's like friends with them apparently or something.
You're friends with the guy who invented VeggieTales?
Not he does all like the instrumental music, like remember the tuba at the beginning and stuff.
I don't really know VeggieTales, but I know.
Okay. Growing up, that's all we knew basically because it was like a family thing. But So the creative Earthworm Jim just put out like a crate, like a
when you texted
first game.
when you texted it to me earlier, I missed the
Earthworm Jim. I remember having this. It was Earthworm Jim in like a scuba gear.
Dude, that's such a 90s thing.
I love Earthworm Jim.
It's not the normal This is such a 90s thing.
It's
not the normal Earthworm Jim in the white suit. It's the special teal and purple suit.
Like every time a new Batman movie came out.
That's the reason, dude. Yeah. You ever go back and listen to anything about the Joel Schumacher Batman movies, and you know how terrible they were and how people hate them. You hear him say that, dude. There was characters and there was different things that they wanted him to add into the movies so they could make multiple toys of the same characters. That's why, dude. And I fell into this because like I told you earlier, toys for me as a kid kind of fell into one of like several categories. I had action figures, which was like my jam. That's that was my go-to. I had sort of like games. I also had play sets, which were like, you get the big building and like all your characters.
Like Play School or something?
No,
like the Siege, like it would be like a...
play sets were a thing where it's like you buy the 5 or 6 different figures, and then you also build like their hideout or like their
I had like
lair.
a Ninja Turtle one, yeah,
exactly.
And then we had like a what's the '90s brand? It wasn't like Play School,
Little Tots,
something like that maybe.
You're talking about.
But there was like a they were like generic looking, but they would have like pirates and they would have. Knights. We had the Knights one with the
castle.
It had a castle with like a catapult thing, like
this right here.
Yes,
that's it.
That's
dude,
exactly.
Yeah, we had that.
Dude, we played with that all the time.
We had that.
Did you have the rug that was like the carpet rug that was like you would put your like Matchbox cars on?
I think so. Yeah, I think. I think that was actually my brother when he was younger was really into cars. That was kind of his thing. He had a car bed, like a race car bed, at one point, and his theme was sort of like the cars stuff. You know what I mean? Whereas I was much more into like Batman and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers, stuff like that. Those were my I had. Like I told you, dude, looking back, like I was a pretty spoiled kid, dude. I got toys for every time that I did something good, every time I got, an A on a report card or something like that, it was another toy. And
that'd be nice. Dude, Andrew and I had to share. We had toys we liked, but we basically always shared. Andrew and I would play toys. We called it.
Really,
dude. That was kind of a good thing about being a twin is like you always had someone to like play toys.
Right.
We had stories that spanned like years.
Wow.
Like years.
I've got a brother. He's 3 years younger than me, but being a twin, I guess that could be a kind of a weird thing.
We always played. I need to buy Earthworm Jim.
No, dude, I forgot what I was gonna say. Looking at this page, dude, 90s toys, it kind of just takes you back. But no, man. Let's see. If I had to narrow it down to one toy that meant a lot to me as a child, that would be tough because I had so many.
There's one other I would pick, but I'll go to that.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the other one was, and I actually found a picture of it today in a box. I think someone's still selling it. The Aladdin Genie with reversible head. And I remember it was, and you're going to be able to see this bigger in post, but this body, of course, was like really hard because it was actually like a plastic figure. The head was this like soft because it had 2 different reactions. It was like this soft rubber. And I remember I would just sit there and like feel the rubber head because I was like... This is so bad. I can't believe I'm allowing myself to fall into this trap. But I was like, man, this feels like cool because it doesn't feel like the rest of the toy. But then it all squishy? Colored. It was. It like had like air to like come out, because you had to push it into the other part of his head's like down there at this point.
Dude, I remember having Aladdin toys as a kid and having the genie. I do not recognize this one.
Andrew's favorite toy growing up was the Aladdin toy. We had Jasmine, but it was like Slave Jasmine in the hourglass. First crush, probably why, because I played with her all the time.
Nice.
But and then we had this genie, and we had Jafar. We were Aladdin kids for sure. And I remember his handcuff things here. Those eventually like faded out, and so it was just like lighter blue around blue, and it was like, oh, we know that's where like the cuffs would go. But like this blue kind of faded because you would hold it for so long, it would get kind of light. But like this face, since it was a soft like plastic thing, like rubber almost, that never really faded. So then you could really tell like his face and the rest of his body like 2 totally different tones of blue. So
we came
oddly specific, but yeah.
That reminds me of, do you remember the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers toys
didn't play with them.
They talk about this in the Power Rangers episode of the Toys That Made Us. But do you remember you could like press on their belt and their head would flip over and it would go.
My cousin had one. Yeah.
It would go from the Power Ranger helmet to like their normal face. Dude, there were so many cool different ways.
It was like basically using like I don't want to say technology, but the way you would do a Transformers toy, but for Power Rangers.
Yeah. There were so many different like little play features like that they added into toys eventually that, of course it was just another reason for you to buy another Power Ranger action figure because you had to get the one that did this special thing because the normal one didn't do that.
Now, especially the Marvel Legends figures and stuff, where it's like they do like a series and it's like it builds one other figure.
Yeah, you got to buy
they did that with Thanos for Infinity War, I think it was. You
got to buy like the 6 figures and like in the back of each one there's like a leg and then there's like an arm and then you put it together and it's like some giant bad guy or something like that. It's a little
counterproductive to me. That should be included somewhere else where the box can still be sealed.
Yeah, because I'm like that's another thing. Then you got to buy 2 of them because you got to if you're a collector you got to.
I guess real quick, one other toy series that we had a lot of. I know Space Jam. Did you ever have Space Jam toys?
I had some Space Jam.
I remember getting those for Christmas specifically. We got a bunch.
We've talked about
Lola.
This was not.
And this guy.
Yeah, the Charles Barkley one, the green one.
Was he Charles Barkley? See, I don't know who any of these who the Monstars were supposed to be.
Well, they never really came out and said like, they in Space Jam.
Oh because don't they mimic them in one scene?
They steal the talent of specific players, and they never outright say that like, okay, the green one was Charles Barkley, the red one was Muggsy Bogues. The blue one was the tall, skinny white guy. I don't remember his name.
Larry Bird.
No, this guy was like 7 foot.
Isn't Larry Bird in the movie in a cameo?
He is. They play golf with Larry Bird.
With Bill Murray.
MJ and Bill Murray.
He says
he talks about, what does he say? He says like, Larry is not white. Larry's clear.
Dude, I hope Bill Murray's in the new one, but I don't see him fitting in anywhere.
Yeah, I don't, dude.
That comes out what?
That comes out this year, I think.
This year? Okay.
I think it comes out this year.
We haven't gotten a trailer yet.
Yeah.
But basically, LeBron filmed it last year across like a couple breaks and then like some basketball and stuff. But no, the Space Jam toys were very cool.
The Space Jam toys dude, Space Jam has a special place in my heart for sure. I had a Space Jam, and I forget what year Space Jam came out, so I don't.
Did Danny DeVito voice the owner of the Monsters?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
I do not remember what year Space Jam came out. I want to say maybe 96 or 97. So if it came out in 97, that would have been my 8th birthday. I had a Space Jam birthday party. We've talked so much about
Was there a mustache from Michael Jordan?
No, there was not a mustache.
Or it was a black guy with a full head of hair.
We've talked about in the past when I had my Batman birthday.
It's actually a Thanksgiving movie, which is kind of
okay. So 96. So it would have been the next year, I think, because that was after my birthday.
And your birthday is in October.
My birthday is at the end of September. So that would have been 97.
Wow.
So I would have been
really you really liked it because that's a full year later.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Yeah. That's big for a kid to be like, well, it's not hot right now, but.
Space Jam, I had, we've talked before about the Batman birthday I had when Mustache
just a little bit
when Mustache Batman came and paid us a visit. Is basically it was a Batman impersonator with a Batman suit, but he still had a mustache for some reason, and I don't know what the deal. I don't think my parents knew that the guy didn't have a Facebook page obviously back then. They probably found him in the yellow pages or something.
Have you ever asked your mom since I've beaten that dead horse about it, where maybe she remembers getting in touch with this guy?
No, I don't think we've ever talked about that. But dude,
you're going to your mom's tomorrow for lunch.
Yeah,
bring it up.
Okay, I'll bring it up. But no, I think that had to have been the next year that I had the Space Jam birthday, and Space Jam. Space Jam was a big deal to me. I didn't have as many of the toys. I just watched the movie a lot, but I do specifically recall my favorite part of Space Jam, I think, as a child was the Monstars. And so I think I had all of the Monstars. Dude, this was where, when it comes to toys, my completionist sort of brain kicked in.
It's dangerous, man.
And dude, this is why I say God bless my parents, because I was probably a pain to deal with as a child, because when it came to these toys, dude, I feel like, I mean, like, I don't want to say that I was spoiled, but I mean, I think that's the term that makes the most sense, because like I couldn't get just one Power Ranger. I had to get all 5 of them. You know what I mean?
Dude, you were a toy company's dream.
Dude, I really was.
You really were.
And dude, it's because
that's all it's about.
I bet my parents are glad that it eventually wore off, because you know, I obviously didn't get every line of Power Rangers, but dude, that was the thing, man. Every year, well, I do think Mighty Morphin stuck around for a couple of years, but then like the next generation of Power Rangers came out, and I had to get all 5 of the toys, and then the freaking Megazord. I was gonna say, dude, if there's one toy that specifically encapsulates my childhood, it's probably the Mighty Morphin Megazord. You know, like the original, the OG Megazord, because that dude,
I'm about to look this up, because I've never really watched it except at my cousin's.
Dude, I don't know if that was necessary, and it's weird because that's a toy that you really can't even play with that much, because you had the different character, you had the separate Zords, separate. I don't know why I said.
What's Zord?
Zord, dude, it's
like, is that just means they're robots?
I don't know where Zord came from. Probably Saban made it up, dude.
Okay.
He probably talks about it in that episode of The Toys That Made Us. I don't really remember.
Is this it?
Yeah, that's it. But see, it's 5 different robots
Animals.
that you build. So it wasn't a toy that you could play with, because it fell apart super easy.
Really? Okay.
Just
interesting.
Like, it's just imagine trying to play with like a Lego set. You know, that coming over here tonight.
That makes sense.
You know, I remember, like, I like Lego now. Like, I enjoy building Lego. I think it's a lot of fun. But then when you put the thing together, it's like, you can't really play with it because it'll fall apart. And Zords are kind of the same. I think Zords would stay together pretty well, but dude, if you were too hard on them, they'd fall apart, because they're only like click together little plastic pieces. So, but I would say that, like,
is that the same with Transformers when you put those together?
I think bits and pieces, because sometimes you would have to like take a Transformer apart and then put it back together a certain way.
Oh, I thought it all like a Rubik's Cube style.
Like, well, and even then there were combiners. There were combiners Transformers that were basically Zords.
Yeah,
you
that's
put
what I'm
5 or 6 of them together, and it was kind of the same thing. But I don't.
That's honestly kind of like incredible engineering to me.
Dude, yeah, exactly. Transformers to me was not the big thing, because Transformers was honestly a little bit before my time, but Beast Wars was my freaking peanut butter and jelly.
PB&J.
My peanut butter and jam.
Beast Wars. Okay.
Dude,
I don't think I ever did Beast Wars.
Dude, and they say that Beast Wars might be coming back. And if it came back, dude, I would lose.
Is that a certain type of something? Like a sub?
That's so the way the storyline goes,
or no?
The way the storyline goes is that, like, the Optimus Prime and a group of Transformers, like, time traveled, and they landed on Earth back in prehistoric times.
Wait, was there a Beast Wars Sega game?
Dude, I'm sure there were several games.
I feel like I remember playing this.
Optimus Prime and the Transformers land on Earth in prehistoric times, so there's obviously no vehicles for them to like scan to become. There's only animals around, so they become animals. And Megatron's also there.
It'd be funny if they didn't speak at all. They just then make the noises the animals make.
I say that, you know, it's what it is it wasn't even Optimus Prime. His name was Optimus Primal. And I think that they were canon with the rest of the Transformers. They were just very much later on. Because
wait, so we're saying it's canon, so Optimus Prime came to Earth like millions of years before and then left and came back?
I don't remember the exact timeline. Beast Wars might have actually been the future, the future of the Transformers, and it was like Optimus.
So they failed.
Optimus Prime was a character, and now there's and it's like
it's not just like an Elseworlds version.
It might be. I don't exactly remember if Beast Wars was like part of the actual story or not.
Transformers Beast Wars.
I don't remember, because the villain's name was Megatron. They didn't come up with a creative name for Megatron. His name was Megatron, but
sounds dumb.
The main good guy's name was Optimus Primal, not Optimus Prime, and I think he was like a descendant of Optimus Prime. That's why his name is similar but different. But I don't know, dude. Did you have a Furby?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we liked our Furby.
Dude, I absolutely hated Furbies because
I got a friend who's deathly afraid of Furbies, so I send her every time I see something on Twitter with a Furby, I DM it.
Well,
to her.
the worst part about Furbies is, dude, like at 3:00 in the morning, the thing would start talking. Yeah, exactly.
It would just be like, and then you could teach it to English, but it still wouldn't really talk. Dude, Furbies were kind of ahead of their time, to be honest.
They came back not too long ago.
But they were expensive, weren't they?
They tried to make a comeback.
Weren't they like $100 or something when they came back? Oh, dude, glowworms.
I wouldn't be surprised. Dude, I'm just looking at this list of like 90s toys. Okay, so we're talking about 90s toys here. Dude, I would have been so disappointed if, and I'm pretty sure I had one of these when I was a kid, the Talk Boy from Home Alone 2.
Dude, my cousin had one. I'm pretty sure
it wasn't a real toy. It was like something that they made up for the movie. And so when you bought one, it was a Home Alone toy. It was not a...
Yeah, because it wasn't, which I didn't know that until like 20 minutes ago. I saw like an article. Yeah.
It was not its own thing. It was made for the movie. And that was such a big part of that movie. And I would have freaked out if I couldn't have gotten one. But what I was saying earlier, I just reminded myself, being a completionist, dude, it's like... It would bother me if I couldn't get the entire line of toys. And this goes into another one that was on your list was Small Soldiers.
Yes, I love Small Soldiers.
Dude, Small Soldiers...
We had a bunch of different Small Soldiers. I remember getting them.
Was the first movie I ever saw multiple times in the theater was Small Soldiers. I fell in love with Small Soldiers. And the reason why I bring this up now is because talking about like my completionist things or whatever... If you recall back to Small Soldiers, there was the Navigator figure that came with the Gorgonite set, Troglodyte. He was the blue guy.
This guy I took a picture of earlier, because this is the one I remember having.
He was no. That's weird because that character was not blue.
Yes, but
he
also
was purple.
Yes.
What's his name?
Witch Doctor Insomniac.
Insaniac. Okay, that's the 90s thing, dude. They just made his plastic out of a different color and you have a whole new figure to sell.
Entire small.
No, there was Troglodyte. He was the blue character. He was like the sidekick to the leader. But in the movie he gets destroyed and they rebuild him with radio parts.
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember.
So he's like Frankenstein's monster. He's like a freak, basically.
Archer battle damage, Archer crossbow strike, Archer battle changing, Archer ultra armor, yeah. This is an entire checklist of toys. This would have been a good site to reference from the beginning. Flat Shoe. I had Flat Shoe.
Okay, see that's another one too. Flat Shoe.
He wasn't in the movie at all, right?
He was part of the creator's earlier line of the, I forget what he called them. It was like what he created before he created the Gorgonites. He created the
Wait, like in the movie universe?
In the movie universe, okay. Yeah, he had already.
So there's people that predate Gorgonites?
Yes,
I don't remember that,
and I forget what he called him. It was a toy line that the guy had created before he created the Gorgonites, and Flat Shoe was one of them. And I remember, I think I had a Flat Shoe, but there was a whole group of Flat Shoe's buddies in the fiction of the movie that were a toy line, and I was so disappointed as a child that I couldn't get all of them because they didn't exist.
That's what. It's kind of funny that they didn't come out with all of the characters.
Yeah.
Like even right here. There's only, so as far as the actual like soldiers go, there's Chip Hazard, Brick Bazooka, Nick Nitro, Kip, who's the one who has like the knife who cuts someone at some point, who's like the dad and everything, and that's it. So there's 4 guys, and I'm like, Small Soldiers wise,
there's 4 soldiers.
There's only 4 soldiers toys that were made.
Wow, interesting.
And then there's large figures, which was 2 Chip Hazards, 2 Archers. There's the Buzzsaw tank, which I think they drew out with the eye thing. They drew out. Dude, Small Soldiers video game, by the way, on PlayStation. Amazing.
Really?
A lot of fun, yeah.
I don't think I ever
played that for hours, man.
Dude, aren't video game adaptations of movies
usually crappy?
Notoriously awful?
Yes, but in the 90s and stuff, it would usually just basically be the skin of like another type of game.
Oh.
Where it would just be like, this is a shooter. Like I remember playing The Mummy. I need to look up one day a list of all like movie adapted video games or whatever, movie adaptations, because there's probably so many I've played that I just don't even think about anymore growing up. But
no, that was just another thing too, is they had the damaged version of that character that I was talking about in Small Soldiers earlier.
I don't see him anywhere. Is it Frankenstein?
Yeah, that's him.
Dude, he looks like a little freak.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't he have like a very like British accent or something?
I think he did.
Slam Fist did, but I think all the Gorgonites probably did.
I think all the Gorgonites are British.
Slam Fist was really nice. Hey there. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Dude, but that blue figure, Troglokon. We have to get home. You know, he came, he was like a pristine figure at the beginning of the movie. He gets destroyed and rebuilt with radio parts. That was the only version of the toy they sold, was like the messed up Frankenstein version of the character. I always wanted the pristine original version of the character, and it just didn't exist. So like,
how are there not Hot Toys Small Soldiers yet?
Dude, because like me, you, and Garrett are the only people that still remember that movie.
Dude, they're awesome.
Dude, it did get brought up in Rick and Morty, the last season of Rick and Morty.
Season 4? I still got to watch the last couple episodes.
I freaked out when I watched
Small Soldiers was brought up?
Yeah, because there's an episode where Rick and Morty come across a dragon. And, you know, dragons things, a dragon, like going back to like Desolation of Smaug.
Smaug. Desolation of Smaug.
Dude, I knew when I said
Eric Cartman possessed your body. No, just kidding. It is technically Smaug. Like, it's not actually smog.
Smog.
It's not really smog.
Smaug.
It's like smog.
Smaug.
But you kind of have to be like Smaug.
Smaug.
Smaug. Desolation
Dude, dragons protect treasure, right? That's like their thing. It just so happens that this dragon protected like really obscure 90s reference stuff. And Rick goes like, "Oh my God, like small soldier do you remember the small soldier lollipops that they would sell at Walmart, and they stuck the lollipop in the top of their head and it spun? You press the button and it would spin in your mouth."
Did that with a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it was and
the motor would go, it would just like, and you'd put it in your mouth and be like, "This feels good," with it like circling around. It would feel cool on your teeth and stuff.
Yeah.
Another thing I probably should not be saying, but
dude, but it brought, and I distinctly remember those freaking toys, man.
What the hell else are you hoarding down here? Cha-ching! Small soldier spin pops!
Don't open that.
I'm not an idiot.
I really want to get like a Chip Hazard. I'm going to watch Small Soldiers, I feel like.
It's on Netflix.
It is. It's been on Netflix like
a hot minute.
Since Netflix came out.
Yeah.
And then the dad from Transformers is the dad in it.
You know what another side effect of like kids just not caring about toys as much anymore? Back when we were kids, Happy Meal toys were an actual thing.
Oh, so this will go in. I feel like this is actually
Happy Meal toys suck now.
Okay, I'm gonna say, how long are we into this episode?
We are almost 50 minutes.
Okay, would you go? Huh?
Was that too long? I was surprised. I didn't know we'd been talking that long.
Really? Oh, I thought we were talking for a while. It's been good though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say one of the big things that I got, one of the main toys that Andrew and I played with all the time. The Rugrats movie, Burger King had toys, and it was Indiana Jones, Tommy Pickles from the beginning, and that little whip thing had like a string, and you could like pull it out, and you could actually like hang that, because it's obviously like a hook, like a hard part. You could like hang it here and put them down there, and then he would like come up with it. Really, that's like what you're kind of getting at is like fast food toys in the 90s were really cool.
Dude, remember like
it was like getting a real toy.
Remember the Pokeballs that had the golden Pokemon cards in them from
man,
Burger
that was
King?
A big deal. Yeah.
Those were a big deal.
Burger King had the best toys, I feel like. But remember they did the Simpsons
they had the
every year,
collectible stuff.
Treehouse of Horrors, they would do it. Now, this is one of my favorite toys, even though it did nothing. Muppet Treasure Island, Fozzie Bear in a Barrel. This is Fozzie Bear. Remember, he had Mr. Bimble, who's a guy who
that's
on his finger or whatever.
Yeah.
He actually came in a barrel, and I think all he did was like his head would bob up and down.
Is that a Happy Meal toy?
That was from Long John Silver's, which I always found interesting because
we don't have
in the movie...
We don't have Long John Silver's here.
Really? You don't at all? Oh, wow.
I don't think so.
In the movie, Long John Silver is actually the villain, right?
No, he's Blackbeard.
Dude, I thought Long John Silver
No. You're right. Tim Curry plays Long John Silver because he's missing a leg.
Yes. And I just always thought that was funny. Great movie. You don't like Muppet Treasure Island?
Dude, I love Muppet Treasure Island.
Okay, I love it.
Excuse you? Yeah.
I thought there's someone in our friend group, I feel like, who it was that was like...
Probably Isaac.
No, I feel like he wouldn't hate it.
Maybe not. Okay, so we're running long on time. We had so much to talk about. We didn't get to
We had too much to say.
We had too much to say and not enough time to say it.
There's one specific thing I just want to say real quick. Have you ever seen this? The Ninja Turtle pizza thing?
Okay, see, no, that I don't recognize that, but I mean, there were so many Ninja Turtle vehicles.
Dude, the little pizza discs, they always look so good. and we'd play with them.
I think those
and Aladdin would eat pizza.
Those must have been used on different toys because I recognize the pizzas, but I don't recognize that vehicle.
They were.
What I wanted to do is I found this list on a website, and it was...
You remember these?
No.
The potato things?
Oh,
I feel like I brought these up to you.
Those are chicken. I thought those were chicken nuggets.
They're not. They're like Mr. Potato Head offshoots and their kids.
I don't remember those at all, no. Where is the chapstick? There it is.
I'm going to type something to you because I can't say it out loud.
Okay, so I found this list on online. 15 toy lines from the 90s you totally forgot about. And I wanted to go through and see... Oh.
It's true.
I wanted to go through and see if you recall any of these toys. Okay. Now, what I wanted to do before we jump into it, and there's a couple that I have in my brain that are not on this list that I want to ask and see if you remember or not.
Okay.
The first one we are going to talk about is stone protectors. Now,
No.
do you recognize these toys at all?
Not at all.
I completely forgot about these toys.
These are the troll offshoots.
This is so spinning out of the mega popular troll dolls, the stone protectors turned the cuddly trolls into muscle-bound crime fighters that knew karate and played in a band. Even the most naive kid could see how manufactured and bizarre the stone protectors were, but this didn't stop the show from netting itself an SNES beat 'em up and a toy line. And basically what I was explaining, because I looked at this before I met you at Panda, is basically like they combined professional wrestlers or He-Man with trolls. And they got the tall hair and everything. If you had asked me, do you remember stone protectors from a kid? And I would have said no. But dude, I had definitely had these toys.
Oh, wow. I don't remember them at all.
Definitely had these toys. There's a couple of more that aren't on the list, but I wanted to ask you. I think I mentioned it earlier. Do you remember Biker Mice from Mars?
No.
You don't remember that?
No.
So that's another one, dude, where I think it started out as a toy line.
Biker Mice from Mars.
Yeah, and it eventually it went into a cartoon series, and it was like 3 mice. What they were trying to do was they were trying to bite off of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's why they've got...
Everyone was, it feels like.
That's why it's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Biker Mice from Mars.
Makes sense, actually. Dude, I don't recognize those.
Don't recognize those? What about Street Sharks?
Love Street Sharks. Andrew and I used to watch it. Love Street Sharks.
Love Street Sharks.
Love Street Sharks, yeah.
That's just another thing.
I probably enjoy those more than the Ninja Turtles, possibly.
Yeah.
I think I watched it more.
That's the 90s thing.
Oh, yeah, the big ones where it was like you could put your hand in its mouth.
Yeah, well, there was the one that you could pull on its fin and its mouth would open and shut.
Oh, dude, they have a lot of 5 figures for $125. $500 for a full lot. Dude, the Street Sharks have a good aftermarket now. But they look cool.
This is what I told you, dude. Dude, my dad, when I was a child, never wanted us to play with anything. He wanted us to keep everything pristine in the box. That way we'd be able to sell it, when we were in our 20s or whatever. And it never happened. Dude, you need a new iPad case on the real.
I just need to glue it.
But it's the 90s thing where it's like it's like taking an animal and giving it like human features. Do you remember Captain Simeon and the Space Monkeys?
No, but it sounds familiar. But that they also look like Planet of the Apes.
I mean, I think it honestly might have been a spin-off.
Dude, Vin Diesel was in a Street Sharks commercial.
What?
All right, hang on.
I see it. I could see it from here.
Can we watch this or no? Dude, he would be perfect. Him, Batista, The Rock.
For a Street Sharks movie?
Yes.
This is Boomer. He's got the biggest mouth of them all. He's the whale shark. Say hello to that round mound of pound and his power slam.
Dude, he's beating up a Ninja Turtle that looks like one of your things.
He loves to tenderize the competition.
Well, dude, I'm sure, there's so many spin-offs of Ninja Turtles that they probably did a line with troll hair.
Sledge the Hammerhead loves to floor the competition with the flying headbutt. You got me?
Oh, his eyes just come out. I like him.
He's a great warrior.
Does he have hair in his commercials?
A little bit.
Real shark skin, and his special power is the right hand roundhouse punch. He sends a competition to a watery grave. Boom! Death.
Dude,
he's got hair.
But me as a kid would have been like,
yeah! I thought somebody here was such fantastic.
That's true, though. Because you don't see it as like some guy.
Head shark!
Oh. That's you, like every morning.
Oh man,
dude, what a find!
That takes me back, dude. That's such a '90s thing, man.
What a find!
Wow. You know, okay, so Captain Simian and the Space Monkeys, no go. So Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation. They talk about this in the Toys That Made Us. This almost killed the Ninja Turtles. This
why? Because it was too different. People didn't like it.
They just did. You know, they did the show version of these characters, but they introduced the female turtle.
Who's now in the comics or something, right?
No, that's a different character.
Oh, okay, I thought that was a big thing recently in the comics.
Yeah, well, they did add a fifth female turtle, but
she's like the actual sister or something.
No, she's just I didn't want to get into it, but she's like a.
It's fine.
She's like a warrior chick. She's
not
like
the same character as this.
No.
Is this like the Batman Beyond of turtles?
They just threw in a female turtle. That was like what they did.
The Next Mutation is just a woman. It's not actually like a whole bunch of different turtles.
They look different. They got cooler outfits and stuff. But dude, yeah, people did not like this line. People hated the show. People did not like this line of toys at all. Skeleton Warriors, recall?
No, not at all.
Dude, these
looks
toys
too scary for me.
These toys were also in Indian in the Cupboard. Do you remember that movie?
Love Indian in the Cupboard.
It's
probably been 20 plus years since I've seen that.
Same year. Extreme Dinosaurs?
No.
It's basically the same thing as Street Sharks. There was a T-Rex, like a Stegosaurus.
Are they part mechs or something?
No, these...
Is that just because that's like a motorcycle or something?
This is like Dino Chopper. But no, it was just 4 characters. There was like a pterodactyl and a Stegosaurus and a T-Rex and something else. I don't remember. But it was 4...
TV show, toys, all that jazz. Okay.
Pretty typical 90s. Dude, this one meant a lot to me. The Cowboys of Moo Mesa. You don't remember these guys?
Never heard of this. What is this?
Dude, Cowboys, Wild West Cowboys of Moo Mesa was a big deal to me as a kid.
It looks like there's an arcade game of it or something. Dude, I've never heard of this.
Following the adventures of Marshall Moo Montana, the Dakota Dude, and the Colorado Kid in the Wild West, the cartoon spawned a cult classic arcade game and an accompanying toy line, allowing fans to play with plastic versions of heroes like Buffalo Bill and the bad guys like Skullduggery. Unfortunately, the Cowboys didn't quite make the same impact as the Turtles, leading to the cartoon being canceled after 2 seasons, with the toy line following shortly after.
There's one named Colorado, there's Montana, Buffalo Bull, and Dakota.
Dude,
it looks like for this game.
This is my childhood right here, man.
Dude, I'd never seen this.
Let's see here. Let's continue.
Ever.
Okay, so James Bond Jr., this is what we talked about earlier. I don't remember these at all.
Same. Are they actual pre-existing characters?
Hitting the shelves in 1991, the James Bond Jr. toy line introduced fans to more kid-friendly versions of the famous Bond villains.
Okay, so there's probably like Jaws,
Odd Job, while also introducing new characters such as Captain Walker D. Plank. That's dumb.
Get it? Walk into Plank?
And Dr. Derange. Despite a strong marketing push, the cartoon and toy line were met with general apathy, causing James Bond Jr. to become just another forgotten 90s toy line.
Is there an Octopussy toy?
I don't think so.
Okay. That's funny, like Bond girl toys for kids.
Dude,
like,
Bucky O'Hare,
That looks oddly familiar.
I mean, it looks somewhat familiar. It looks like the weird green rabbit from Star Wars, the Star Wars comics.
Oh, Jackson, isn't it? Or Jax or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Dude, Bucky O'Hare looks oddly familiar, but I'm not really sure.
But dude, the name of this thing is entitled Bucky O'Hare and the Toad Wars. Do you remember the Toad, the Battletoads?
Love Battletoads.
Dude, Battletoads.
We're gonna do like childhood video games at some point. We got to.
That wasn't. I'm sure they had toys, but I don't think they really. That was more of a video game.
Dude, Xbox was supposed to bring it back. I wonder if it ever. I don't think it actually ever came out.
Do you remember Cyborgs? Dude, I remember these vividly from Toys R Us. Dude, there was like 8 of them, and they were all these like half cyborg pig monster things. And dude, such a 90s thing. Of course, the team was comprised of various totally tubular characters with names like Hog Kong and Rabid Fire, fighting baddies with also suitably tubular names like Cannon Bull and Bighorn. The toy line and accompanying comic failed to make a splash, leading the cyborgs to be shelved. Maybe they were too boring. We'll see ourselves out.
Okay, hang on 1 second. I want you to watch this for a quick second. When this comes out, it's still not out. But when it comes out, we should play it. I'll bring the Xbox over. Well, you have one, but I'll probably buy it. They're remastering Battletoads. notoriously hard game. One of like 2 or 3 games I've never beat in my life.
Dude, arcade games back in the day were so freaking
Remember,
hard.
it was the motorcycle level I couldn't get past.
I don't know. I don't remember really playing Battletoads.
And that's a really cool art style. Like 2D instead of like
it kind of
sprites.
looks like what's that game? Cuphead.
Oh yeah, it kind of does look like Cuphead. I didn't realize that they were like super gross. Pimple and zits.
Dude, and it's just another. It was just like another line trying to bite off of the success of. Is there only 3 of them?
Yeah, I think so. Because it really was just a game. I don't think they did too much besides that.
I thought there were. I thought there were 4 characters.
I don't think so. But yeah, anyways, that'll be fun to play.
Do you remember Mummies Alive?
No.
This was pretty cool. It was just
I feel like I haven't. We had very different toy childhoods.
Dude, I don't know. No. I actually don't know if I ever had these, but I remember the cartoon. It's on Disney Plus right now. Mummies Alive. Mighty Max.
Mighty Max sounds more familiar, but I don't.
Dude, Mighty Max was cool because
wait. What about Gargoyles? I love Gargoyles.
Dude, I love
Mummies
Gargoyles.
Alive. Actually, holy crap! Yes, I remember Mummies Alive now. I loved Mummies Alive. I remember this, like the cartoon. I don't think I ever had any of the toys.
I don't know if I had the toys.
Oh yeah, because it was these guys.
Yeah,
dude. Yes, Mummies Alive was awesome.
They were mummies, and they became like superheroes. Yeah.
Yes,
dude. Mighty Max was cool because
and they had the. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just
this
gonna
is
say
very exciting. Mummies Alive is on Disney Plus.
It is. Okay. You know, the one thing that I hate about watching the old shows on Disney Plus is they have the bars on the side of the screen because everyone back in the 90s had a square TV, not a rectangle TV.
And then that's what you actually like made the actual like. It's not like regular film where you probably have a widescreen copy that you cropped. It's like cartoon, so it's like that's what you drew.
Yeah.
Like you just don't have more of a space to give later on. Yeah. That sucks.
I don't remember Betty Spaghetti. That was a girl's
I remember
toy.
Betty Spaghetti. I didn't have it.
The Mighty Ducks?
That's my only little thing here. I've never seen the live action Mighty Ducks movies.
Wow, dude, they're redoing it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'll have to watch it before. But I loved the cartoon Mighty Ducks. We had a bunch of those toys.
See, we didn't have Disney Channel when I was a kid. So toys like the Mighty Ducks and the freaking Mummies Alive, stuff like that, like I didn't really find out about it until a little bit later because we didn't have Disney Channel when I was a kid. We got Disney Channel when I was maybe like 12 or so. So I'd kind of already missed these guys.
Hang on, I just want to read the first line of that real quick. When Disney released the Mighty Ducks in 1992, the movie was a runaway hit, pulling in over $50 million at the box office. If Disney put out any movie right now and it made $50 million, they would be like, this is a total failure.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't it funny how that goes that way?
Dude, that's crazy.
Pooch Patrol. I don't know what this
looks
is.
vaguely familiar, but I don't know why they chose
I don't know what
this
is. Trash Bag Bunch. I don't recognize these at all.
I'm about to look them up.
Trash Bag Bunch. And that's it. That was
okay.
I don't recognize any of these trash bag things.
Yeah, man, I don't either. Are they like some play on like Garbage Pail Kids?
See, that's what I was wondering if it was garbage. Because I remember, I don't really remember Garbage Pail Kids, but I remember them sort of like, I remember Cabbage Patch Kids, and then there was like Garbage Pail Kids.
This looks like the action figure version of Garbage Pail Kids. In a sense, like a spiritual successor. Yeah, I don't recognize this. This one little alien thing looks like the alien from some Disney movie that's on Disney Plus, and like it was on cartoon.
Yeah.
Weird. How to eat like it's like not how to eat fried worms, but it's like spaghetti brain or something. I don't know.
Aliens Ate My Homework.
No, something.
Remember
weird.
that book?
Yeah,
I read that book as a child.
Well, yeah.
We've talked for almost an hour at this point about the toys of our childhood, the toys of our youth,
the toys that made us.
The toys that literally made us. And I guess,
well, not literally, but we were not made by toys. We were made by humans.
What I would recommend listeners doing is letting us. I mean, there's plenty of toys that we failed to mention on this episode. But what you could do is jump into the comments of this on YouTube below and let us know if there's anything that you loved as a child that maybe we didn't mention. Or you can hit us up on Twitter using the hashtag TMTS and letting us know about any of your favorite toys as a child that we failed to mention.
Or your favorite adult toys.
Ooh,
Just
the
kidding.
arse reactor.
Yeah, that's a whole different subject.
That's a whole nother subject.
Yeah, that's too much to say after dark.
Yeah, that's too much to say after hours. So each episode we like to leave you with a weekly pull.
Okay.
I'm going to do it this week because there's an artist on Instagram that I want, and people may check out this guy's stuff and think that it's completely stupid. That's fine, but I think it's awesome. Speaking of 90s toys, do you remember Spin Art?
I think so.
They were the
was
little
one of those things they sell like on TV.
It was like a little flat piece of plastic, and you stuck a pencil in it, and you did circles.
Oh, I never did it, but I remember seeing commercials. Okay.
And you could make like really cool designs with the Spin Art. There's this guy on Instagram. His name is James Nolan Gandy. His Instagram is GandyWorks, and he makes this.
I don't like that name. I'm just kidding.
He makes this really cool. He basically built this machine. He built this robot arm that spins.
The Gandy that made us.
He puts a pin into the arm of this robot thing, and it just draws circles for hours, and it makes these really cool.
Does he go in before and say this is the design you're going to do?
I don't know, because
I like how you screenshot and put weekly poll.
Oh yeah, I wanted so I could remember what
that's
what
good.
this was for.
That's a good idea,
dude. But check out this guy's video, dude. I find him like
on Instagram.
On Instagram, yeah.
GandyWorks. GandyWorks. And
this dude, I sit and watch these videos, and they're like mesmerizing. Like he does these ones with all different colors, and I was gonna see if I could pull one up, dude. Like this.
Oh, that's cool. That's relaxing.
There's no music to it, but dude, I could just sit here and watch. Like it's sped up, but just see the way his.
How many hours in real time do you have?
Dude, I have no idea how long this stuff takes. But dude, dude, I want some of these pieces for my house.
You should do it.
I don't know how expensive. Well, you know, I lied. I did look up how much they are. They're only $75 for a print of his artwork. So yeah, that's my weekly pull for this week. Check out our buddy GandyWorks on the old IG. I think he also has a website, jamesnolangandy.com. And he's got some cool art pieces. Anything else for this week's episode before we move on? Dude, see, like, check that out, dude.
James Nolan Gandy. It sounds like he's going to assassinate a president, but I like it.
With the three names.
The three names, I always think that. Dude, I really like that. Looks very, like, the act of making it seems highly hectic,
that's the machine,
but it's
there
so
that
peaceful looking.
I
really like that. James Nolan Gandy.
Apparently, they use his pieces on the show Silicon Valley on HBO.
Dude, great. I just finished it last week. Finally, I actually buckled down and watched the last few episodes.
Yeah, you can see they use his.
Oh, that's awesome.
They use his artwork.
That's that's in his main office
in the show. Okay. So, anyways, yeah, that's my weekly pull for this week. James Nolan Gandy. Go
check it out.
Go check it out. But I was like, I think I had a seizure for a second.
And I literally,
I was like, I was gonna say, don't stalk him on Instagram. That was what I was trying to say.
Why would you not want to stalk him on it? What do you mean?
I don't know. Like, find out where he lives and go kill his.
Don't do that at all. This is not.
All right. We were going good there for a minute, and then I derailed it. I apologize.
Into murdering someone for your weekly pull.
It happens.
Well, once you buy the art, you want the value to go up.
Okay, like I can't hear
once
you
want the art, you want the value to go up.
There you go. There you go.
I'm just kidding. This is really dark. You got to edit this part out.
It's staying.
Oh my God.
All right.
Okay. Mr. Gandy, we're fans.
All right. So we're going to wrap this up now. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Dunk Butler. You can hit up Eric
it's probably below us right now.
At PlayAlotta. And you can also, what I want to leave us on is Eric and I, we are always open to guests and to new topics. If you have a topic that you'd like to hear us talk about on the podcast, be sure to leave it on Twitter with the hashtag TMTS.
You got it, dude.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Send us out, Eric.
We out.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.